So I have a coaching program where I take insurance agents and listen to their sales calls in an attempt to try to improve upon their presentation strategy in order for them to help them sell more insurance. So I was reviewing a sales call from an agent named Christine, and I was just totally blown away at how effective her sales presentation was. She had done something that I do to some minimal level and recommend, but she took it to a whole new level that I want to share with you in this video, because I think what our ultimate goal is to convince the prospect that what we're selling them, no matter what it is you sell, insurance or otherwise, is a superior decision. But what a good salesperson will do is they won't tell them that it's better. They will, as I like to say, give enough rope to the prospect to let them hang themselves. They'll allow the prospect to be engaged in the process to discover for themselves, and they're using their own verbal capabilities and words that, yes, in fact, this product is inferior to the other one that you're selling. And yes, I would like to buy this, but to do it in a way that doesn't put a gun to their head or forces them. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. My name is David Duford. I am have this YouTube channel to help insurance agents and salespeople across the country with their sales-related questions to help them sell more. I'm the author of several books, including this one, which is Interviews with Top Producing Insurance Agents. Kind of close to the camera here. There it is. You can find it on Amazon. Just put my name in, David Duford, or the title, and you can also go to my website, feagentmentor.com, for click the link that says Interview Book at the top, and you can buy the ebook as well. So the conversation point today in this video is how to get prospects involved in the process of selling to get maximal results. So let me tell you a little bit more about Christine's sales call to convey the point better, and then I'm going to share with you another story, and give you some ideas how you can implement the strategy on your own. So what Christine did, I teach agents in the insurance selling process. First, we introduce ourselves, build a small level of rapport. Understand this is a one-call close in a retail business as a consumer environment. We do a heavy amount of pre-qualifying where we want to ask them specific questions that match our criteria to determine if they're going to be prospects or not. Okay, very important, no matter what you're selling, figure out if these people are prospects, because you may be wasting time. And then the third step, which we're going to talk about, is actually presenting what you do. So what I normally do when I sit down and what we sell is final expenses, which is burial insurance, I share with them how the competition works. I show them brochures. I point out where certain things are, but I basically speak the entire time. What Christine did, which I thought was just absolutely phenomenal, is instead of her giving the presentation, explaining everything for her, she handed over the literature that came from our competition and said, "Mr. Jones, I want you to read through this highlighted section." And he said, "Well, this is a whole life insurance plan that has a 2-year waiting period that doesn't cover in case of natural death in the first 2 years." And she simply asked in response to that, "Okay, so what does that mean?" So now the clients come back and say, "Well, that means that I don't have coverage for 2 years. If I die from natural causes, I don't have anything on the books to protect myself." Well, how does that make you feel, Mr. Prospect? It makes me feel bad. I don't like this. That sucks. What happens if I die? And these, again, are older people. They've seen other people die, and they want to have protection from the first day if they can. Why do I want to buy a plan like this? It doesn't make any sense. And so where Christine shifted this to an advanced level of selling is she allowed the prospect to be engaged in the presentation, not just idly sitting back, watching a video, or listening to the salesperson ramble on, never stopping to take a breath. They were engaged the whole time. And through this, Christine found pain points, pleasure points, got the person's opinions. And when you harvest this information from a prospect and engage them in the process, you really figure out what they like about the product that you're selling, whether it's intangible or tangible. And what ends up happening is you get a better idea and a stronger connection to the product being sold than just basically ejecting a sales presentation upon them in such a way that they have no involvement and you don't even know if what you're saying is actually of interest to them. You're just like going for the whole throwing up a presentation process on them, which usually to this day and age is not good, because their interests may be totally different than what you assume them to be. So there's an old story. I think Zig Ziglar tells a story. Maybe Dan Kennedy. Good books, good readers, good stuff to read about a guy who sold this very high compact strength glass. And so he would go in and sit down with a client, and his presentation simply was he took out a box. He would take out the piece of glass. He'd put it on the table, and then he'd get a mallet or a hammer, and he'd swing as hard as he can right in front of the client at his desk and to attempt to break the glass. This is all he would do in the presentation. It would flip the prospect out because obviously, first of all, there's a pattern interrupter. Like, what is this guy doing? He's taking a hammer out. What's he going to do with it? And he attempts to break the glass. And this guy was a top-selling agent or top-selling rep for this glass company, and for several years. And then when he decided that maybe sales weren't as effective, he switched it up. So what did he do differently? Well, he did exactly the same thing. He handed the glass over, and he had the mallet, but instead of him breaking the glass, he allowed the client to break the glass. So the client could take the camera and smash the glass and see if he could actually break it himself. Now, what presentation is going to be more believable, right? Like, even if you did like a magic trick, if you are involved in it and you see everything happen, you're going to be totally thrilled and just in disbelief, or at least convinced that this works so well. So this is what this particular agent or rep did. And this is why it works so well, is because seeing is believing. I tell my insurance agents that you have to basically imagine everybody is a doubting Thomas. They don't believe a word that you're saying. You have to look at every word, every phrase, everything that you assume, or every fact that you think is right, and question it. And you've got to find a way to take what you're saying and make the client, not really make them, but persuade them on their own terms that this particular product, this thing you're selling, insurance or otherwise, is what it is. It works, and it's something that is great. In other words, you need what's called, as lawyers say, a preponderance of proof. You can't let your client, who you're defending, have any sort of hole in their argument. You have got to make sure that your argument is shut tight, and any lack of that is potentially losing your sales. So to kind of wrap this up, let's talk about ways that you can actually implement this in your own game. So first of all, free trials work great. Again, nothing convinces somebody than a free trial. So let's say you sell cars. I think one great way to get people bought in on a concept, especially if you can't sell them after the typical ride-along where they take it out to drive it, is let them use the car for the weekend. When people sell animals, it's the same thing. A lot of people, hey, try it. You want a new dog? Great. You like this dog? Try it out. Keep it over for the weekend. And then, look, pay me today, and then if you don't like it, call me back. I'll give you money back. Well, what's going to happen if there's a couple of kids? They're going to talk dad or mom out of not doing that, and they're going to keep the dog. It's brilliant. It allows them to reverse the risk, as they say, to get the engagement and involvement in the process. Also, what we do in insurance sales, I always reference my competition, just like I was speaking earlier. I don't want to hide the fact that I've got competition. I think that is an inferior way to sell. Look, there's always competition in every space for whatever it is that's being sold. It's not a matter of selling. It's not a matter of ignoring the fact that there's competition. It's a matter of positioning. You've got to position yourself in such a way that you can frame your competition as the low price leader, but low on service. Or maybe they're the high price, but top in service, and relative to you, you're equivalent service, but for a more economical rate, or something like that. Or you do some different kind of service better than the other ones. So we call this unique selling proposition. And we want to use our clients' literature. We want to use case studies. We want them to get involved, to hand them this material, have a conversation that's realistic. And so to get them involved in this process, again, it's not just dumping all this stuff on them, but actually kind of having a strategy session and talking about ways that this particular setup was good and ways that this wasn't. And of course, if you do anything in retail, it's the same deal. You try stuff on, you get people engaged, let them touch these things, let them hold things, let them put on the clothes, drive the car around, let them experience what it's like. This is more a usual approach in a tangible product business like clothes, cars, and the like. But when you're doing anything where you're involved in intangible products like selling insurance, it's a much different scenario. It's harder to imagine the benefits of something when you have to die to get them. And that's the essence of life insurance. Not so much so for living benefits like health insurance and things, but you still can use the same strategy. Get these people involved in the process, and you're going to see better results of it, especially because allowing people to get involved, they'll appreciate that you're sensitive to what their needs are, what you're looking to accomplish, and you'll get a better idea of what makes them tick and what they're looking for. And ultimately, you'll be able to craft language that better fits and matches what they're looking for, and have a better chance of selling. Again, this is my book. If you are in the insurance business and want a really good book on what top producing insurance agents do, go to Amazon.com, purchase it. It's called Interviews with Top Producing Insurance Agents. You can also go to my website at feagentmentor.com, click the link that says interview book, and buy the ebook version. If you like this sales training, please implement it. That's the most important thing, more than also subscribing and liking the video. And feel free to leave a comment below if you'd like to. Otherwise, thank you for listening today. My name is Dave Duford, where I help insurance agents around the world with their sales training questions. You guys take care. Bye.